Over the years, much of what we love about Baltimore County has remained the same. The rolling meadows that are the heart of Maryland horse country, our vibrant waterfront with its crab shacks and marinas, the many historic communities with roots as far back as the beginning of our nation, and the work ethic and moral fiber of our citizens. One of the things about Baltimore County that has changed over the past half century is the makeup of its population. In 1960, the overwhelming majority of county citizens were white. The population stood at about 492,000 and was 96% white. Of the remaining 4%, African Americans accounted for 3.5%. 20 years later, the population swelled to 656,000, with the percentages relatively unchanged. Whites made up 90%, and African Americans 8% of our citizens. By the 2000s, the nation experienced a sea change in its demographic makeup, a change reflected here in Baltimore County. The percentage of African Americans increased as families moved from Baltimore City to suburbia. The number of Asians and East Europeans grew. Most notably, the number of Hispanic residents increased significantly, mirroring a nationwide demographic phenomenon. According to the most recent census figures, Baltimore County is now the nation's 69th most populous county, with more than 805,000 people. Nearly 65% are white, 26% are African American, and 5% are Asian. In addition to the racial diversity, the percentage of citizens who identify as Hispanic has grown to 4.2%. As the population has diversified, so has the local government workforce of more than 7,000 employees. This is an ongoing challenge, especially in the public safety agencies, the police and fire departments. Police work and firefighting are highly specialized disciplines that involve intense training and incredible risk and responsibility. Only a relatively few people have the right skill set.
We know the citizens of Baltimore County want competent, effective police officers when they call them to their homes for a police call for service. We want officers who are ready, willing, and able to do this very, very difficult job. We also know in Baltimore County, crime has gone down significantly over the last several years, and we have case clearance rates that are higher than the national average and higher than the state averages. We also are focused on diversity. I'm focused on it. I've had many conversations with the county executive, Kevin Kamenetz, about this issue too. He's also committed, as is the leadership of Baltimore County, to creating a workforce that's reflective of the public that we serve. We all apply the rule of law the same way when it comes to enforcing violations. However, we do know that a great part of this work, communication, developing partnerships, you bring your attitude, you bring your experiences to the workplace, and that's why it's critical to have a diverse workplace.
25 years ago, the Baltimore County Police and Fire Departments, like similar agencies all across America, were predominantly white and male. Over the past decade and a half, these agencies have made a serious effort to bring women and racial and ethnic minorities into the public safety community.
When I came in over 30 years ago, we had 2 African Americans. We had no women in our department. Many of the leaders before me and myself are committed to having our workforce actually reflect the community we serve. And we've been very fortunate, and with the help of our current employees and a willing population in Baltimore County, the last 2 years we've done a very good job of attracting and retaining a diverse workforce. In the last 2 years, we've hired 114 people. 39% of those people, through our efforts, have been minority. We actually are a leader in the fire service in the country in attracting women. In that 2-year period, 25% of the people we've hired have been women. So we think we're doing a great job, and we're going to keep up the work. We have a lot of partners in our Guardian Knights, our African American group, are tremendously helpful in attracting quality candidates so that we can do the job here in Baltimore County. So we're excited about it, and we're ready to keep going.
In both the police and fire departments, a deliberate focus on the recruitment of minorities and women has helped drive the diversification of the workforce. Minorities and women account for 80% of the police department's employment staff. Both departments have reached out into minority communities, attracting prospective employees through college job fairs, minority churches, radio advertising, even at establishments such as barbershops. In 2010 and 2011, the police department hired 79 new recruits. Nearly 32 identified themselves as minorities. In addition, minorities are heavily represented in the police department's cadet program. This is a law enforcement training program for 18 to 21-year-olds that almost always leads to a career in policing. In 2011, 59% of cadets hired identified themselves as non-white.
Are we making progress? Definitely. In fact, I describe it as historical advancements in diversity in this agency. Our goal several years ago was to have 1/3 of the applicants for the Baltimore County Police Department to be minority. And I'm pleased to announce that we hit 46% repeatedly year after year.
Since 2007, minorities have comprised an average 27% of our recruit classes. In addition, 50% of the police department's upcoming recruit class consider themselves part of a minority group. Today, Baltimore County Police employs 1,858 sworn police officers. Some 250, or 13.5%, identify as non-white, and 203, almost 11%, are African American. In the fire department, the percentage of women and minorities exceed the national average. According to the February 2012 edition of Fire Chief magazine, 80% of the nation's 301,000 firefighters are white males. Minorities account for 16.5% of fire personnel nationwide. Only 6.4% are African American. In Baltimore County, nearly 18% of 972 sworn fire department members identify as non-white, including nearly 16% who are African American. With women firefighters and EMS personnel, Baltimore County exceeds the national averages by a whopping 15%. The fire department employs 182 females, nearly 19% of the total workforce. In the police department, diversity among top-ranking officers, the executive corps, shows real progress.
As I reflect upon being chief of this exceptional agency, I stop and I take notice of the significant violent crime reductions. I also recognize our ability to manage within the resources that we have. We have great people in this department that have achieved these significant accomplishments. However, one of the areas that I do not think receives the attention that it should is our advancement in diversity within our command staff and our supervisors. Today, over 21% of our exec corps, our command staff, is minorities and females. This is an accomplishment, one that I'm extremely proud of.
Baltimore County citizens are fortunate to enjoy high-caliber service from its public safety agencies. The fire department responds to nearly 120,000 emergency calls a year, fires, all types of rescues, and nearly 87,000 medical calls. Week after week, citizens write to express their gratitude for the professionalism and compassion of fire and police personnel. The police department continues to drive down crime. In 2011, violent crime dropped for the 6th straight year. More important, crime in 7 of the 8 categories of serious crime fell below the previous 5-year average. Total crime also fell below the previous 5-year average. Public safety may be the most important service that government provides. Baltimore County's police and fire departments recognize how important it is to understand and communicate with every citizen. In Baltimore County, diversity is a significant part of the pursuit of excellence. Why not consider a rewarding career in Baltimore County Public Safety? For more information, visit www.baltimorecountymd.gov.